Hi, I'm Alison Brie.
And I'm Alison Brie.
I guess I'm Alison Brie also.
And I'm Alison 4.
Yes.
Oh. Now, this is a tracking. If you notice, there are no cuts.
Yes, this is our Christmas episode, and this first shot, I don't know how many times. What do you think, Tristram?
We did 15 takes, and only 2 were usable.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I have to
imagine
say,
if Chevy had been in this scene.
Well, this is what,
Can
there's
I
a whole
give
history.
myself props as the prop master?
Alison carries the whole shot.
Huge kudos for doing this.
This is
Just like we got there that morning, and they were just like, "Here's everything you need to do while you're saying
by the
these
way,
lines that we just rewrote."
In this bag, so there are some curtains that you need to hang.
You basically had to set dress the whole scene.
Yes.
In
did we
about
just
3 minutes.
Sorry, so many things happened right at the beginning of this episode, but I think you just said a line because this is our Christmas episode that while we were shooting this episode, we found out our actual air date. Yes. That we did not know prior to this, and then we realized that this was going to air sometime later, and Joel added a line just a few moments ago, impromptu.
What did I say?
He said, these will look good whenever people see them. They'll look at Valentine's Day,
Christmas, Valentine's Day, President's Day, whenever people see them.
I wish I could remember things I said.
But I was really proud
Childish
of you
Gambino.
guys. Yeah. I was really proud of you guys doing this because, the focus and concentration that everybody put into this to everybody was unbelievable. And then do you remember when we started actually shooting it for real and then we just went back to our normal self?
Yes.
Totally goofing up. You only got 2 words to say and you blow them.
Oh my gosh. I know. I think what Tristram is trying to point out is that normally when we're shooting, we don't know any of our lines ever. It's hard for us to get 2 lines in a row because we're laughing and goofing off.
Well, it was interesting that we took the
to our
safety
credit,
net
the
away.
writing is
we took the safety net away.
And then it was actually a nice reminder, like, we can do it. We just choose not to.
Yes.
But
it felt like a play. It felt like doing a little play.
I feel like instead of the SAT,
that was our first
they should make high school students do something like this.
Yeah.
Where they're like, you're going to just say all this dialogue
and walk
put all
and
this
talk.
stuff up and move around and don't mess it up. We'll give you 17 tries.
Now, can I just say one really boring thing? This will be the only boring thing I say. I can't guarantee that, of course.
Bored.
1 plus 1.
But this whole episode is shot because the whole thing came out of Andy wanting to do a Hitchcockian rope.
Color.
Yes, right. I wanted to do rope.
And so to help allude to that, we shot the entire episode with one lens. One lens. Now that excites me. I know it's boring for everybody else.
Was that the compromise? Because originally I know that we talked about trying to shoot the whole entire episode in one shot, one long shot, and we knew that was an impossibility.
Right.
It would be fun to sometime if we ever come back to do what 30 Rock didn't do, a live episode.
Yeah.
It might be possible
these guys
now.
can do it.
I am still Tristan's just laughing. Yeah. He's like, ha ha ha.
We can do it. Look how good we did in the first 2 minutes of this episode.
Yeah.
We pulled it together for 2 minutes.
There's a lot of wool and patterns in this episode.
Also, Jeff has a new apartment, which we were all like really excited about.
Jeff's
when we were
apartment
on set.
had to get bigger to accommodate all this traffic.
Yeah, but
it's
very similar to my old apartment, just with some new doors.
Yeah.
Just bigger.
That happens when you have a condo. Every once in a while, a new door will show up.
Appears. Yeah.
There he is.
Malcolm.
McDowell. Is he a sir yet, Tristram? Don't you
I'm
keep track of this?
very close, I think.
Malcolm had to wear these glasses for the episode because he had just had surgery on his eye. But I think they're really cool anyway. I kind of thought it was a character choice.
He does kind of look like he's in a Ray Charles tribute band.
Oh, this is another long tracking shot, by the way. We did 3 real long shots.
Yeah, and this is where Malcolm McDowell is trying to get me to say something in the background. He's like, Sal, what the fuck are they doing? Why is the camera on us?
He's a little troublemaker.
Can you tell? I don't know if you can. Well, we can because we can swear. Can you tell the Malcolm McDowell story about Chevy when he was in the other episode?
Oh yeah,
which
is there's. It was the first time we met Malcolm, which was I think our second week of shooting, and he is our history professor, and he had to give a long speech, including the word Slobodan Milosevic, or Milosevic, depending upon where you're from, who was.
Who was Slobodan Milosevic?
He's a war criminal. He used to be the leader of Czechoslovakia. Bosnia-Herzegovina, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
And he was in The Hague, and I think he's dead now. So anyway, Malcolm had a lot to say, and he screwed up the words Slobodan Milosevic a couple times, and then Chevy began harassing him. And
of all people, to be harassing him about getting your lines right.
It would be like an amputee calling another amputee stubby or something.
Yeah.
So it was
it'd be like an amputee calling a guy with a broken leg stumpy.
And then Malcolm just turns to Chevy, and we're on him. He goes, is this your speech? And Chevy's like, no. And he goes, and Malcolm just goes, well, shut your bloody cunt. I could, and then we all, and then Chevy was very happy, actually.
Yeah.
He was thrilled.
It's his favorite thing.
It's the first time I've said cunt on it. This is going to be great for the kids watching it. I was quoting everyone.
It's a quote. Don't say that at home.
In England.
Yeah, it is not as dirty.
It is not as dirty.
But bloody was very dirty for a while.
My mother says that. My mother says it all the time.
You're kidding.
She says it all the time. About anything.
Yeah, that explains a lot about you.
It does.
This is the scene where I'm talking to Gillian.
I love this. I love this little scene. Actually, I like the Jeff Britta relationship here, and I don't know. I'm a shipper. I'm a Jeff Britta shipper.
Oh,
thanks.
Sorry. Wow. Who's this girl? Don't go with her.
She just pulled off one of the longest tracking shots in the history of.
Who cares?
Single camera sitcoms on at 8 o'clock.
How could you say that to me? This is an original song. I'm just making it up.
We don't have to pay.
Owns rights to this song.
Except for you, now you can sue.
Yep. Yeah. Copyrighted.
Now, how sick of the set did you guys get this week? We were in there for a long.
Oh my gosh, it was worse than being a citizen of Syria. Tristram, how about a little perspective? We were at Paramount on a set with Sir Malcolm McDowell.
Yes.
Everyone did go a little crazy in that room, though, in that living room.
That's true.
And then we would go lie down on Jeff's bed to decompress.
I think that's why I mentioned it, because there was a little bit of stir craziness in there.
There definitely
was. Thursday or whatever. I remember the relief, the palpable, the vocal relief of finishing Act 2, which took, I think, 2 days in itself.
It was ambitious what you pulled off there, Tristram.
It was ambitious.
We always get confused when we do a bottle episode in a new location that, like, the first day we're there, we're like, this is going to be great. We're in a new location. We're not in the study room. And then
take 17
16-hour days later, we're like, get me out of here.
One of you's going to die.
It was pretty.
And these scenes were so short. I feel like these scenes in the bedroom took,
literally almost seconds.
They were very
seconds to shoot, and then we were in the living room for the rest of our lives.
But I still was like, we are shooting. Malcolm McDowell is outside right now.
Yeah, it was great.
I'm so happy.
Oh, it was such a fun day, and I forgot until the third or fourth day when he told his first Stanley Kubrick story. Then it dawned on me: this is who I'm working with.
Yeah.
When you go to LACMA. And most of the images are of the person you're working with. It is not an unusual occurrence.
Yeah.
And they're running that slow-mo bit. They run that slow-mo bit from Clockwork Orange where McDowell kicks him in the balls and whacks him into the river. And it's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Kevin, bad!
I have Changnesia. I'm not a dog.
Professor, we're so sorry. Obviously, Kevin made a mistake.
Now, interesting tidbit. This was I think the only episode of this season where we didn't have Chevy for any of it, and we found out at the last minute Chevy was going to do the part that he was going to do the work that Chang does in this episode. He was going to tie up the professor.
How did we justify it?
We justified it that he had to do sensitivity training with Gilbert, his half brother.
well,
that's good.
I'll tell you how I feel, people listening. I love the character of Pierce. I really miss Pierce. He had a certain energy that is hard to replace. But
in this episode, was Chang originally in the episode? Still,
he wasn't in it at all.
He wasn't in it at all.
No. So we just slotted him in, and we had to change. It worked out well. He does. Character-wise, he's able to do the same kind of chaotic things that Pierce does.
It's kind of the greatest thing about Chang that you can really throw his character in anywhere. Am I wrong?
That kind of makes, and he makes sense out of it.
Yeah.
Ken is not a skilled comedic actor, So that's the only limitation that.
And here's my favorite thing Allison has done in a long time. I was going to say ever, but I'm sure you've done better.
Break something?
No, just this speech.
As you lumbered around the room.
Yeah,
that was really great. You all did so well in this episode.
When we write this stuff, we all know, like, oh my God, this is going to be so fun to watch.
Thank you.
That's the thing about these bottle episodes. As much as we kind of hate shooting them because we get a little cooped up, like, I feel like it's when we get the most, like, the best emotional stuff from all our characters, and there's a little something from everybody.
It's very similar to real life when families come together for the holidays and stuff comes out, people go crazy, and then they're like, we're going to do this again next year, right? Great. See you next year. Sounds good.
Possibly all in real time. Everybody stop.
Wait, I'll say Megan Gans wrote that line for Abed. This is amazing and possibly all in real time. I love it because it's just the perfect kind of self-referential thing Community does. Yeah. And Tristan was just telling us before we started recording this that this is the second act is what were you saying, Tristan? That it's just really powerful.
Yes, Andy, it's incredibly powerful. I think it is.
Does it remind you of the English Patient as he walks out of the cave with his lover's body in his arms?
No, I probably shouldn't say this, but it reminds me of like 12 Angry Men or something like that.
Oh,
yeah.
You're all stuck in this room, and it's this great psychological battle between Winger and Cornwallis, and it's just the way it's written and the way it plays out is just so great. It's my favorite second act of the show
of all time.
Almost ever.
Our show's important.
I feel that.
Are you undermining what I'm saying?
No. I'm agreeing.
It is weird with these bottle episodes because you forget, because you are in just one room, and then I begin to lose track of where we are.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh yeah, we should. Oh yeah, and I forget because there's no other locations to kind of give you markers.
And that's why we deliberately don't tell you. So you watch you figuring it out for yourself.
Well, that's why I think it's crazy making, because normally you're like checking things off. We shot that 1-page scene. We shot that 1.5-page scene. And this is like the scenes feel like they're 10, 12 pages long. It's just like a whole act that you're shooting. And when we block shoot, which means that we, shoot one whole direction, like they would shoot just coverage on me and Joel, and then they would turn and do the whole scene just shooting Danny. So it's like then you reset so far back.
You're on a treadmill, like you're oh my God, we already read these pages.
And the way we went around the room, to sort of in some kind of crazy attempt at efficiency, we it's very confusing because we go back and we just do it again and you go, oh my God. I remember Yvette saying to me, haven't we done all this?
It's like, true. It's
what
true.
else could you possibly need from all of this?
And we forget as actors because we just go, camera's pointed at me. I'm going to say these lines 4 different times with a few different angles. But then we forget about you, Tristram.
And really
you
mean
have to keep your head around all the stuff, like the keeping track of all of it.
Well, and
I'm not. I don't laugh. No.
So sorry, I was laughing at Danny with the popcorn.
Oh, you know what?
No,
burn on Tristram.
No, Tristram's amazing, and I totally agree. The way Danny's like so proud of himself when he sits down with the popcorn, and then took the time to get comfortable.
In my mind, I thought, this would be so. This is probably the length of time it takes to make the popcorn. I was so disappointed when I asked the editor when we finally cut it together, and I said, by the way, just for trivia's sake, how long is the duration of the popcorn? And it was like a minute. I think it was about 1:15. It feels like the right amount of time to make
there
popcorn.
Are some aftermarket microwaves.
Yes.
I mean, it could be in there for 2 seconds.
All
and
right.
You could turn it to ash.
I believe Jeff Winger buys high-end microwave popcorn.
Yeah, it's not even a high-end. I'd say it was a dangerous microwave. So it could be 1 minute.
It's already
Think about what
popped.
happens to an egg if you leave it in for 1 minute. It becomes a massacre in your microwave.
I just read
this is a good discussion.
I just read that if you microwave just a cup of water on its own for too long, then there's something with the energy, and when you take it out, it could just explode up into your face and burn you.
Oh my God, we're all going home and trying that.
You need to put something in it, like a tea bag or a wooden spoon.
Wait, we should say
You're
to
saying
the listener, please don't try this at home.
Just
an
water.
Open container of water. Open container, not sealed.
Not sealed.
No
just
pressure.
You pull it out of the water, it's just like boom.
Bursts up in your face. It's happened to people, and they have permanent scarring on their faces.
She read it on the internet, Joel.
Oh yes, but I saw it in Bullshit magazine.
Look, sometimes when I'm making tea, except actually not in a while because my microwave has not been working. For
I think we're still
months.
totally on message with the commentary.
You waited 6 months to take care of your.
Well, the power's just out in like half of my kitchen, and I just
the power is still out in your kitchen.
in half of it, only half.
Ladies
so
and
the
gentlemen,
fridge is
Allison Brie
fine.
has the worst landlord ever.
I have terrible follow
It's
through.
not like
It's the
electricity is a big
follow-through.
mystery right now.
Yeah.
That was a while ago.
Yeah, I know.
Now, if people were listening to the other commentary from the season opener, we can now reveal this is the only other time that we had.
This is the only
Dean
right
next door
in
to
the other commentary.
Okay, anyway.
Yeah.
Electrification of a home
microwave.
is not like a selling point. Okay.
Wait, is this the only other time you referenced that the dean lives next door to Jeff? That never came up again this season?
It never came. Well, I don't know. We may have
Why?
referenced it, but
Yeah,
we
why
didn't
didn't
play.
I would have thought that he would have burrowed a hole.
Like, why did
Yeah.
you guys have him move into his building and then not
Well,
use
you know
it?
what? It's easy to second guess.
Or fourth guess.
When we placed Dean, when we moved the Dean in the first episode, we believed that we would get a season's worth of fun out of that, and we just didn't.
It's sort of like
Next year.
Yeah.
Well, it's sort of like when Troy moved in with Pierce, right? And it was the
Yes.
same thinking, like, this is going to be great. So many capers.
It was the same thing, top of season
Never
2.
used.
Troy, and we said, "Oh, they're going to have a breakfast nook." We had the set designers work on like what a breakfast nook would look like, and well, you know, it's that study room is kind of where the show lives.
Yeah.
But they referenced it a lot.
Yeah,
And we didn't see
And-
Pierce's house until
season 4.
Until season 4.
Right, right.
But then it paid off that Troy had been living there because we knew extra things about the house,
That's
right?
true. That's true.
Big payoff.
Give whoever screws up next. Now, I'm going to do something that Octavia never would. Yeah, I read the book. I'm going to say that whoever untied the professor, I don't give a crap. Because whoever it was, I know it was some flawed, selfish, weak, hopeless soul like me.
Exactly what the betrayer would say.
Fine, Dick. If it was me, I'm going to lose my A by tying you
This is where I stab him, right?
Yeah.
I kept tickling him when we would do this part.
he
and then
has
I would
ne-
pretend to
Malcolm
be
McDowell has
jerking
never
him
been
off when we
happier
would
in
do
his
that.
life. Allison
From the other
Brie
side.
on her knees tying up this guy.
I would have a lot of fun with him, and he did not seem to mind.
I also remember the moment when, in between takes, when Malcolm McDowell started busting Ken about. Malcolm McDowell asked Ken about his nudity in The Hangover,
Did he?
and he said that wasn't your penis, was it? And Ken said,
impossible.
"Yeah." He said, "No." And then Malcolm McDowell went for 5 minutes about the smallness of Ken's penis.
Oh my.
I feel like
Malcolm was great.
You were never tied up.
Yeah, I feel like Ken's body is
What do you want me to say?
Is
in
an enigma.
proportion to his penis.
Exactly.
You don't want some crazy huge penis on that
No.
very petite
No.
body.
No, too much
distracting.
penis.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean,
well said.
he showed me that he can tie it in a knot.
Are we still what?
No, we're talking about the third act.
Great.
I suppose that would be accurate.
And that is
First time Malcolm McDowell took off his glasses, he even said to me he was going to. He said he's going to have that moment where he actually shows a little bit of heart, and he takes off.
I
his
know,
glasses
but the
for it.
heart is totally negated by the fact that he had to do this awkward move
Yeah.
down to his
yeah.
thing, which I hate.
I'm going
But
to
the
take off my
glasses,
glasses.
he loved taking off his glasses.
Oh,
He
God.
had to.
He made a meal out of that.
I kind of liked it.
Yeah, one of the greatest actors of a living makes a meal out of it.
But he was great. No, the great thing about having Malcolm on set was that he just called everybody on stuff. Like
Yeah. He
even
did.
like when Ken gets too off the handle, he'd be like, "What are you doing over there?" We'd be like, "Finally, somebody said it."
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
He's so cool.
I just realized he should have said Happy Christmas, shouldn't he?
Yeah.
We got to redo it.
Idiot.
We got to
Let's
redo it.
Let's-
This got it.
Oh my God.
Catastic.
Catastrophes.
Catastrophes.
Everyone gave Jeff a Greendale sweatshirt.
Oh.
Someone got miner's gear.
Oh, buttered noodles.
Donald did some improvising with that hammer and helmet
Oh,
that
God.
I couldn't. It took me about a week to recover.
It's the obligation that's a gift.
Oh, and this line.
My favorite
is
line.
that Jeff doesn't.
It's
Joel
an
doesn't
obligation
understand.
that's a gift.
And I tried to cut the line because I got so freaked
We
out.
tried to make you cut the line, but nobody Tristram kept it in, I guess.
Tristram kept it in.
Tristram's been very silent through this third act. Oh, this is one of my favorites.
Oh, God.
Oh my
This
God.
is one of the promos that was tweeted.
Literally, I think had tears that I was so excited to be playing with these tiny kittens.
So amazing. And Yvette can't be on set with kittens or
No,
puppies.
so she left
So we had
6
used a
hours
body double
before
in
us.
these shots. She couldn't even be on the same stage.
Her
as
life
them.
was saved.
Her life was
This
saved.
is like
I still have nightmares about that moment, Alison.
Don't get me
Look at those
started.
cats.
Oh.
Look
But
at
this
that.
was like, what, 3 in the morning or something? We had these,
Yeah.
It wasn't even that late. It just
It
felt
wasn't.
late.
Yeah,
It was
look at
not
that.
that late.
Now
Evil
we're going.
timeline.
But can we just say, can
I've
we just
never seen
mention
this
that the kittens were named after Danny's children
Yes, and my sister's new son.
and your sister's new son?
So it was all worth it. Oh my God, and I love this mask. Oh, Joel, look how handsome
We
he
had to
is.
sort of slice and
Clean
dice
shaven.
this tag for time, but
Yeah, what's going on?
we just couldn't fit it all
Why
in.
is it flashing like this?
It's playing like a movie promo. You'll love it. Trust me.
It's
Are
like
we
a
still gonna
promo.
kiss?
was
Oh,
way
good
too long.
boobs.
Yeah. Wait, you talking about the dude?
Yeah. Whoa, I mean, look at them.
Yep. In the darkest timeline,
In the darkest timeline,
You wear
I have implants.
a wire bra.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks,
Thank you.
guys.
Thank you.